Hello, 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 check, check, check. Hello, check. Hello, hello, check. Hello, hello, check one, two. Hello.
2021 President and CEO of IEEE. And I'd like to share a warm welcome to all of our members across India and Region 10. I'm truly sorry that I'm unable to join everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello, check.
Hello.
Hey, Dada.
শুনতে পাচ্ছ? তোকে মাথা কাটছে ঠিক কর আরেকটা ক্যামেরা যায়
Hello. A very warm good morning, Mr. Gautam Roy, Executive Director, HR and Admin, CESC, Mr. Deepak Mathur, R10 Director, Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, Director Generation, CESC, Devashish Banerjee, Managing Director, Distribution, Professor Shushmita Mitro, Chair, IEEE Kolkata Section, other dignitaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen. We have all assembled here for the unveiling of the IEEE Milestone Plaque here at CESC headquarters in Kolkata. This is the 224th milestone recognized around the world. There are 40 stones from region. Australia has 1. India now will have 4 and Japan has 39 in total. The Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, CESC, is the 4th milestone and the 3rd one under Kolkata Section. Incidentally, the Giant Meter Wave Radio Telescope, GMRT 1994, Pune, was recognized in 2021. The first millimeter wave communication experiments by Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bosu during the period of 1894 to 96 at Kolkata and Raman effect 1928 at Kolkata were recognized in 2012. CESC was established in 1897 and is probably the still serving oldest utility in the world. It serves the city of Calcutta, Howrah. The IEEE Milestone Plaque is an apt way to celebrate the contribution of CESC. May I now request Mr. Deepak Mathur, IEEE R10 Director, to please come up on the dais. May I request Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, Managing Director Generation CESC, to please come up here. Mr. Debashish Banerjee, Managing Director Distribution, to please come up on the dais. And Professor Shushmita Mitro, Chair IEEE Kolkata Section, to please come up on the dais, Madam. May I now request all the to please start today's program by lighting of the lamp. Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhana Sampada Shatru Buddhir Vinashaya Deepa Jyotir Namastute. I salute the one who is the lamplight that brings auspiciousness, prosperity, good health, abundance of wealth, and the destruction of the intellect's enemy, that is ignorance. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, madam. Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, CESC, first commercial electric supply company in Asia. CESC switched on the 1000 kilowatt thermal power generation plant at Emambagh Lane, Prinsep Street in Calcutta, now Kolkata, on 17th April 1899. This delivered 450/225 volt DC power for street lights, residential and office buildings and the Calcutta Tramways. The event heralded the era of electricity in the Indian subcontinent. This historical event of electrification in India, which 17 years after New York and 11 years after London, will be commemorated with the citation placed on the wall of CSC House here. May I now request the dignitaries present on the dais, please unveil the plaque. Thank you, dignitaries. This is indeed commemorating a piece of history, and we are lucky to be present here today. So thank you, dignitaries. Thank you all. Yes. And so for the next leg of the program, may I request all to move to the Lalit Great Eastern Hotel. And the program at Lalit Great Eastern will start at 11:30 a.m. So please let all move towards Lalit Great Eastern. Thank you all. See you over there. Good morning. Please be seated. We are about to start the program in 2 minutes. Please be seated. We will start the program shortly. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Deepak Mathur, IEEE R10 Director, Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, MD Generation CSC, Mr. Gautam Roy, Executive Director, HR and Admin CESC, Mr. Debashish Banerjee, MD Distribution CESC, Professor Shushmita Mitra, Chair, IEEE Kolkata Section, various dignitaries, delegates, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second leg of the program of the unveiling of the IEEE Milestone Plaque at CESC headquarters in Kolkata. Kolkata, fondly called the City of Joy, is famous for its Durga Puja, sweets, love of football and adda. The journey of modern-day Kolkata started in 1690. In 1772, it became the capital of British India and remained so till 1912. The first demonstration of electric light in Calcutta was conducted on 24 July 1879 by P.W. Fleury and Company. The government of Bengal passed the Calcutta Electric Lighting Act in 1895. In 1897, the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited was registered in London, and since then, CESC has been with Kolkata. On 17th April 1899, the first thermal power plant of the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited was commissioned at Emambagh Lane, heralding the beginning of the thermal power generation in India. In 1970, the control of the company was transferred from London to Calcutta. In 1978, it became a rupee company with the new name, the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation India Limited. CESC's association with RPG, one of India's top industrial houses, began in 1989. Now, it is the flagship company of RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, headed by the chairman, Dr. Sanjeev Goenka. May I now request Mr. Gautam Rai, Executive Director, HR and Admin CESC, to please come up on the dais, sir. Thank you, sir. May I now request Professor Shushmita Mitra, Chair, IEEE Kolkata Section, to please come up on the dais, madam. Mr. S. Suresh Kumar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Power, Government of West Bengal, please come up on the dais, sir. Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, MD Generation, CESC, to please come up on the dais, sir. Mr. Deepak Mathur, IEEE R10 Director, please come up on the dais, sir. Dr. Gargi Chatterjee, Executive Director, Regulatory Affairs, CESC, to please come up on the dais, ma'am. Mr. Debashish Banerjee, MD Distribution, CESC, please come up on the dais, sir. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, madam. Now, may I request Mr. Gautam Rai, Executive Director, HR and Admin, to please deliver the welcome address. It is under the leadership of Sir that CESC has become one of India's best companies to work for in 2020.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the IEEE Milestone Dedication Ceremony being held today in Kolkata, 18th December 2021. Respected Mrs. Kathy S. Land, Chair IEEE President. She is, I understand, from New York, USA. Professor Toshio Fukuda, immediate past President IEEE. He is online from Tokyo, Japan. Mr. S. Suresh Kumar, Additional Chief Secretary Power, Government of West Bengal. Mr. Deepak Mathur, Director, Region 10 IEEE. Mrs. Jania Majeriska, she is the Chair, History Committee, IEEE. She is live from Sydney, Australia. Professor Saifur Rahman, he is the IEEE President-elect 2022. He is live from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Mr. Robi Choudhury, our Managing Director, Generation. Mr. Debashish Banerjee, our Managing Director, Distribution. Professor Shushmita Mitra, Chair, Kolkata Section, IEEE. And Dr. Gargi Chatterjee, Executive Director, Regulatory Affairs, CESC. Distinguished guests, senior members of IEEE, media representatives, friends, our colleagues who are present here, as well as I understand this program is on live streaming all over the world. So, and we have with us many distinguished guests, senior colleagues of the organization, union leadership. We welcome you all in this very proud moment of CESC. Today, indeed, it's a proud privilege for all of us. And it is a rare honor for CESC, the organization which is almost 124-year-old. Journey started way back in 1897. And gradually, the organization has developed. It has become now an integral part with the city of Calcutta. And it has become an institution by serving generation after generation for long 124 years. World has changed a lot. Many qualitative changes happened. Keeping pace with that, CESC also adopted many changes. It has moved ahead of time, incorporated all the modern technologies in the frontier, performed to the best of the ability. And with humbleness, I can tell it is one of the best organizations in the country today. We all are custodian of a very rich heritage, a great legacy, yet very contemporary. We respect the legacy, we become contemporary and contextual because we have to meet the expectation of present day. We gratefully recall the contribution of many who has served this organization years together, helped building such a robust infrastructure, colossal infrastructure in the city of Calcutta and the Howrah and the surrounding. In a very recent incident, I should mention that this untraveled path, the uncertainty what world has faced in the last 2 years, more than 1,000 of our employees were affected. With great pain and grief, I am telling that we lost 24 employees, but the wheel could not stop for a moment. So that's the nature of job, and that we do. It becomes another matter of pride when we see that another legendary organization spread over 160 countries, having more than 4 lakhs of membership, the largest technical professional organization dedicated to the cause of advancement of technology, its excellence, and innovation, IEEE have identified CESC as a milestone. So it's really a special occasion. A legendary organization like IEEE identified CESC, also a century-old organization, as milestone. Of course, today CESC not restricted within the city of Calcutta. With the visionary and inspiration leadership of our chairman, Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, we have spread all over the country today, both in generation as well as in distribution. So today, this 18th December, is a historical moment of truth for CESC. And CESC being honored for heralding the era of electricity in the Indian subcontinent. 17th April 1899, the first electric supply company in South Asia switched on the thermal station. So we welcome you all. Before I conclude, as a matter of abundant precaution, you have seen that we have tried to maintain the COVID protocol. And my earnest request to all of you to maintain that, to make you safe, your family safe, and all of we are here to be on the safe side. We have captured the history, the growth, the development of CESC in a very short film, which will be screened just now. And subsequent to that, Professor Sushmita Mitro, Chair of Calcutta Chapter, who has basically contributed a lot towards this happening, will formally initiate the event with her introductory speech. Before conclusion, I again convey my sincere thanks, gratitude, and acknowledgement to all those. I know there had been a hard work behind it. The History Committee of IEEE, the Board of Directors of IEEE, a team of us from CESC, as well as the Kolkata chapter, who had contributed, worked for last 2 years to make it happen. It's a very rigorous process, very respected process, and so we feel especially proud for it. Thank you all.
Such a captivating film capturing the journey of not only CESC but of Kolkata and India. Thanks to Team CSC for such a wonderful film. I will also like to thank Mr. Gautam Rai for the warm welcome. He indeed mentioned that a legendary organization identifying century-old organization like CESC as a milestone is a historical moment of truth. And we are all present here to witness the truth, to witness the slice of history. And now, may I request Professor Shushmita Mitro, Chair IEEE Kolkata Section, to please deliver the introductory address. Professor Mitro is a fellow of the IEEE, the World Academy of Sciences, Indian National Science Academy, International Association for Patent Recognition, and fellow of the Indian National Academy of Engineering and the National Academy of Sciences, India. She is an IEEE CIS Distinguished Lecturer, member of Inter-Academy Panel for Women in STEM, and the current chair IEEE Kolkata Section. According to the Stanford list, Professor Mitro is ranked among the top 2% scientists worldwide in the domain of artificial intelligence and image processing. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Nice words. So a very good morning to all of you delegates here. It is the proud privilege of me on behalf of the IEEE Kolkata section to be heralding the dedication ceremony of the milestone on today, December 18, which is the 4th milestone in India and the 3rd in Kolkata. So let me go to the brief background. So although electricity was known for a couple of centuries, harnessing it and using it to supply energy to the general public became possible only after 1880, as we have already heard. So Calcutta was the first in entire South Asia to do so in 1897 by the formation of the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, CESC. At that time, Calcutta was the capital of the British Raj. It was the second city of the British Empire after London. The British government in Calcutta supervised the empire from the Middle East, Eastern Africa to Southeast Asia. So CESC became the lead power company that led to the electrification of the Indian subcontinent, followed by much of the Asian and African parts of the empire. The IEEE milestones that have already been held in India, the first three were typically breakthroughs honoring scientific excellence, whereas the CESC milestone is the pioneering effort in engineering leading to the electrification of South Asia with a direct impact on speeding up industrialization of the economy. So the achievement of Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation was that it commissioned the first thermal power plant in the Indian subcontinent on 17th April 1899 in Calcutta, heralding the beginning of thermal power generation in India. The Calcutta Court, the highest court in India, was among the first to order electric fans in the courtroom in those days. In 1902, the Calcutta Tramways company switched over to electricity from horse-drawn carriage. So advent of electricity in the city heralded rapid urbanization and industrialization in the city and adjacent areas. So the significance was that the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited can proudly claim that it brought this wonder form of energy to Calcutta a bare 10 years after it was first used to light up London, the then undisputed capital of the world. So it set an example to the rest of India and other British colonies in the East to adopt electrical power as the most convenient and efficient alternative. So in today's dedication ceremony, we have, after me, we have the recorded messages from Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, the chairman CESC, Ms. Susan Cathy Land, the IEEE president and CEO. Then we have the dedication online from Professor Toshio Fukuda, the immediate past president of IEEE. We also have the Honorable Mr. S. Suresh Kumar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary Energy, Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, MD Generation CESC, Mr. Debashish Banerjee, MD Distribution CESC, Mr. Deepak Mathur, IEEE Region 10 Director. And we were supposed to have Mr. Steve Welby, but unfortunately we don't online. We have Professor Janina Mazierska, the IEEE History Committee Chair, and Professor Saifur Rahman, the past president of IEEE PES, who was supposed to be here live, but then due to the corona situation, he has cancelled his trip. So with that, I welcome all the delegates once again, and on behalf of the IEEE Kolkata section, and then for this milestone, we need to acknowledge the contribution of the honorable reviewers who reviewed this process, which were Professor Anjan Bose, Regents Professor of Washington State University, and Professor Saifur Rahman, who is the 2022 IEEE President-elect. And also, we must not forget the contribution of the advocate, Mr. Ranjit Nair. So with that, I thank you once again, and we do hope to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mitro, for the warm and lucid introductory address and for setting the flow of the program. Madam, you have rightly pointed out that by honoring CESC, IEEE is honoring the pioneering milestone achievement in engineering that CESC has heralded by electrification. And not just that, it stopped, it not just at electrification, but also industrialization and urbanization. Now, we have a message from Ms. Cathy Land, IEEE President and CEO 2021. Madam Land has served 3 terms on the IEEE Board of Directors as the 2018 Vice President of IEEE Technical Activities, as a member of the IEEE USA Board of Directors 2013-2016, a member of Region 3 Executive Committee 2016-2017, and President of the IEEE Computer Society in 2009. Over to the message of Madam Kathy Land.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kathy Land, and I have the honor to serve as the 2021 President and CEO of IEEE. And I'd like to share a warm welcome to all of our members joining us from the IEEE Kolkata Section across India and Region 10. I'm truly sorry that I'm unable to join everyone in Kolkata, but I did want to share my sincere congratulations on this very special IEEE Milestone dedication ceremony, commemorating the establishment of the first commercial electric supply company in South Asia by the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation on April 17, 1899. This event heralded the era of electricity in the Indian Subcontinent. Dedicating an IEEE milestone takes tremendous effort, and today's organizers are to be commended for their generous gifts of time in bringing this milestone recognition to completion. In particular, I would like to thank my colleagues from the IEEE Kolkata Section for their work in helping to organize today's ceremony. I would also like to thank Chairperson Shushmita Mitra of the IEEE Kolkata Section Executive Committee for inviting me to participate today in this very special dedication ceremony. For those who are unfamiliar with IEEE, we are the world's largest technical professional organization, and IEEE's core purpose is to foster technological innovation and excellence for the benefit of humanity. The vision for IEEE is to be essential to the global technical community and to technical professionals everywhere, and to be universally recognized for the contributions of technology and of technical professionals in improving global conditions. IEEE is a world-leading publisher of trusted, high-quality technical information, a principal organizer of international conferences, a valued provider of educational materials, and a developer of widely used international standards. Our more than 400,000 members are vibrant, diverse engineering and technological professionals who are committed to elevating their professional images, expanding their global networks, connecting with peers locally, and giving back to their communities. IEEE brings together not only electrical engineers, but also technologists from the fields of computer sciences, information technology, physical science, biological and medical science, mathematics, technical communications, education, management, law, and policy. This worldwide membership is the heart of IEEE. In more than 160 countries, IEEE members come together as part of an international professional community. Our global network provides unique opportunities for our members to connect with experts shaping cutting-edge research around the world, to shape technical standards with international reach, and to foster and grow top technical talent worldwide. Now, some of you may be asking, what is an IEEE milestone? Well, the Milestone program honors significant technical achievements in electrical, electronic, and computer engineering and the associated sciences. And it's funded by donations to the IEEE Foundation and administered by our History Center. The Milestone program recognizes great moments throughout our world's long history of technical innovation, and they are a symbol around the world of how electrical engineering and computing have helped to build the modern world and bring people closer together. The program began in 1983 as part of IEEE's centennial celebration, and today's milestone is our 224th worldwide and is the 3rd for Calcutta Section and the 4th for India. IEEE's milestones help to increase the public's understanding of the contributions to society made by electrical, electronics, and computer engineers, and the strides made by countless technologists as they seek to advance technology to benefit humanity. By celebrating the pride and prestige of our professions, we demonstrate how engineers, scientists, and technologists contribute to our global community and have helped to build today's technologically advanced world. It is my privilege to recognize these pioneering events and the people behind them. They serve as landmarks in the progress of technology and in the progress of civilization. I would like to thank once again everyone for joining this very special ceremony today and to congratulate the organizers from the IEEE Kolkata Section for putting together today's educational and inspiring program. I applaud your efforts to celebrate and safeguard the contributions to society made by electrical, electronics, and computer engineers and computer scientists, and the strides made by countless technologists as they seek to advance technology for the benefit of humanity. Thank you, and congratulations on your milestone.
Thank you, Madam Lan, for the heartwarming message and for highlighting the role of IEEE. We now have Professor Toshi Fukuda, who is our immediate past president, that is immediate past president of IEEE. Professor Fukuda will be live from Japan. So Dr. Fukuda was the president of the IEEE Robotics and Automation Society 1998 to 1999, the editor-in-chief for the IEEE ASME Transactions on Mechatronics 2000 to 2002, Director Division X, Systems and Control 2001 to 2002 and 2017 to 2018, the IEEE founding president of the Nanotechnology Council 2002 to 2003 and 2005, Director Region 10 2013 to 2014. May I now invite Professor Toshi Fukuda to please address the gathering, sir. Sir is live from Tokyo.
Thank you very much for a nice introduction. Hello, everyone. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, my colleagues, and esteemed guests. So I'm Toshi Fukuda. Thank you very much for a nice introduction. I've been pleased to serve as a 2021 IEEE past president. Thank you for inviting me to participate today in this special IEEE milestone dedication ceremony to recognize the impact of the first thermal power plant of Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited being commissioned on 17th April 1899, heralding the beginning of thermal power generation in India. It is substantial technical achievement and worthy of an IEEE Milestone Award for its innovation and value to humanity. In these uncertain times of challenge, it is even more important that we take opportunities to come together to recognize the accomplishments and contribution of our colleagues throughout the engineering and technology professions. It is my privilege to recognize these pioneering events that mark progress of technology and progress of civilization. I am honored to be a part of this celebration. I now read the milestone citation. The Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, CESC, established the first commercial electric supply company in South Asia. CESC switched on 1,000 kilowatt thermal power generation plant at Emambagh Lane, Prinsep Street in Calcutta, now Kolkata, on 17 April 1899. This delivered 450 225-volt DC power for street lighting, residential and official office buildings, and Calcutta Tramways. The event heralded the era of electricity in the Indian Subcontinent. I'd like to thank you all again for joining us today. I applaud my colleagues in IEEE Kolkata Section, led by Professor Mitral, or the organizer of this inspirational program. Thank you. Stay well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Fukuda, for your motivating words, and thank you for highlighting the contributions of CESC. May I now request Mr. S. Suresh Kumar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Power, Government of West Bengal, to please address the gathering. Sir, Under your leadership, West Bengal has become one of the best state in power sector. So you are the true example of Egiye Bangla or Bengal surges ahead. We are very happy that Sir has kindly agreed to grace the occasion. We have seen how he steered the power scenario in West Bengal, and over to you, sir.
Distinguished members on the dais, members from the CESC and elsewhere, members from the IEEE, past presidents and the current president. It's been a great honor for me to be present among this August gathering to commemorate the milestones that CESC has achieved. CESC has been at the forefront of technological progress in electrical engineering and its application for the people. As a company, it has never stuck to a particular rut or a group. It has always been going ahead in various fashions, as you could see from the small clip that has been shown. It's been at the forefront. It's made all the changes that need to be done. It has not wasted time. Whenever anything new has come, new development has come in the market, it has always adopted it as its own, without going into the issues about, is it going to make how good is it going to be, its cost, etc. And the efficiency of CESC has translated into something spectacular. Calcutta had been the finest city among the British Empire, and CESC then had definitely made a mark here. The problems still remain. We had an issue about those days. It was a load related only to the lighting. Then once the fans came in, then the balance happened. We still have problems about getting the optimal load, I suppose, and we still wrestle with this issue. Until unless probably we develop a substantial amount of storage solutions, I don't think this essential problem of electrical engineering is something which I say cannot be solved. There are other issues. We all need to make our organizations more lively, more profitable, better places to work. PSC has been also on this particular score, ensured that it's a good place to work and kept it very professional, and also has seen to it that the organizational people within the organization also grow intellectually as well as professionally in all spheres. And it's amazing. I mean, CSC is admired all over India for its professionalism as well as its outputs and the way they approach work. I think I commend CEC again for doing a fantastic job in terms of their work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. We are grateful to you because you have found time from your busy schedule and you have spent such lovely time with us. And now, I will request Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, Managing Director, Generation CESC, to please address the gathering. Mr. Robi Chaudhuri is an electrical engineer, B from Jadavpur University, and joined CESC in 1984. He is also acting as the Managing Director of the company's subsidiary at Haldia Energy Limited. And over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is really a proud moment for all of us, and I welcome you all, the distinguished delegates, my colleagues who have joined us both physically as well as on virtual platform, to celebrate this momentous and historic occasion. It's really a moment of pride for all of us in CESC. I remember way back almost 3.5 decades when I joined CESC as a fresh graduate engineer from college. I still remember one of my senior colleagues telling me, and I quote, If it were not for electricity, we would all be watching television by candlelight. I unquote. Years passed by, and this human-laden statement grows louder in my brain every passing day. If we think of any let there be light moment for entire South Asia, I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you will agree that it is the establishment of first electric supply company, which is popularly known as Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation. 17th April 1899, when CESC first switched on its 1,000 kilowatt thermal power generating stations at Emambagh Lane, which is now called Prinsep Street. Our beloved city of joy, Kolkata, got 450 volt and 225 volt DC power for lighting the streets, lighting residential buildings, as well as the commercial buildings. This magical feat was made possible by CESC only after a few years. London and New York got electrified. This kind of a what I should say, technical harmony of this magnitude has ever been possible because the three great cities of the world played their role in unison and perhaps presented us the first globalized, real-life case study of first globalization, where people became one under the aid of technology. The Calcutta Tramways subsequently switched on to electricity and changed to electric trams from the horse carriage. And you will again agree that that is the moment of first electrical vehicle in Southeast Asia. I'm sure that the seed of present electric vehicle movement was really established 122 years ago in Kolkata with the introduction of electricity. That's what is electricity. I personally believe that you must have, in some point of time, has experienced cometh the hour, cometh the man moment. Electricity invention actually, by the aid of electricity, actually galvanized the city of Kolkata, this subcontinent, along with the other British colonies, and switched over to the smarter form of energy. This created, at that time, a huge urbanization and the unprecedented growth in the industry. This perhaps has ever been seen in mankind history. She silently supported this burgeoning aspiration of the country by quickly establishing more thermal power generating stations in Howrah, Lilua, and Ultodanga, to a totaling capacity of 2,115 kilowatt. In the year 1910, CESC introduced one more technical innovation by way of introducing first alternating current power stations in the year of 1910 at Kashipur. This ultimately created need for transformer for stepping down, as well as conversion of DC from AC to DC. Resulted numerous number of substations in Kolkata. This is all history and in the history book of CESC. But CESC's development, growth continues unabated. And at present, under the visionary leadership of our chairman, Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, two very state-of-the-art modern power stations built, one at Boj and the other one at Holdia, both in the state of West Bengal, to cater the ever-growing demand of our licensed area, which is 567 kilometers and 32 million people. We are really, really humbled, honored for getting inducted into IEEE Milestones category. And this huge appreciation will ultimately make us motivated, will encourage us to move forward with much more technical innovations for the benefits of mankind. CESC has always been a firm believer of advancing technology for mankind. I will conclude by expressing my heartfelt thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us over a century. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful message. You have aptly pointed out that the Let There Be Light moment in South Asia is the establishment of CESC. Now, may I request Mr. Debashish Banerjee, Managing Director, Distribution CESC, to please address the gathering, sir. Mr. Debashish Banerjee is an electrical engineer with proficiency in business management and has a passion to deploy technology for radical change. He is continually engaged in disruptive technological innovations for delivering a real-time digital experience, riding the new waves of mobility, IoT, big data analytics, and artificial intelligence. Over to you, Mr. Banerjee, sir.
A very good afternoon to all of the participants and the esteemed chair. We as an organization is truly humbled at this momentous event of recognizing the contribution of bringing electricity to not only to this city of joy, but also to our country and in the subcontinent. And we are so honored that IEEE, one of the global organizations, has recognized this contribution of ours. And we are here today to celebrate this event. Well, as you all have known that we are more than 120 years old company. But let me tell you that this burden or this responsibility, I would say, on our shoulders have been heavy, that how do we stay relevant to the current times? Bringing electricity was one achievement, but we also want to be the first in many of the things which will come in the future. Now, when we talk on electricity, I think this is the prime, mover for any GDP growth of the country. As India aspires to be a $5 trillion economy, electricity is the growth engine for that. We are the third largest producer of power and the second largest consumer globally. However, our per capita consumption is still at near 1208, much lower than the others. So you can well imagine the scope which India has to grow in terms of electricity and power. So we are in the right industry at the right time. And let me tell you that some figures, our peak demand growth has been 7% CAGR from FY18. There is a rapid urbanization which is happening all over the country, and about 270 million people are expected to join the urban population by 2040. The demand is going to increase not only because of electrification and automation, but because of the rising temperatures and need of cooling. And the penetration of air conditioners is going to bring about 1350 billion units by 2050, compared to the entire consumption of in today about 1200 billion units for India. Further, the electric mobility and electric cooking are also going to bring in about 70 billion units by 2030. Now, I would like to state about four trends which is happening all around the world, which is driving this sector. The first being digitization, the greatest disruptor, followed by the decentralization or decarbonization, and then by the disaster management. Now, if we talk on how we have trying to make ourselves relevant to each of these factors, let me tell you in terms of digitization, we all know that there has been Industry 1.0 and now today's Industry 4.0, which says that every machine, every product, every process, every service becomes connected. And what we are doing it right from the use of IoT, putting sensors to understand the health of our assets, whether it's through a drone or through an embedded sensor, so that we proactively analyze the data and keep all our assets in pristine health, so that the entire city of Calcutta is never without power at any time or any place. The second is we have gone in for immersive technologies. We have seen technologies, we have adopted technologies, we have tested our POCs, and these immersive technologies like the virtual reality, the augmented reality, the mixed reality, we have used it to understand and replicate the substations or the relays on the mobile phones, and to assess that and to understand and diagnose what has happened into a protection system and do something remotely so that the power can be put on remotely with all safety conditions. We have done digital twins. We are, for the customers, especially during the pandemic, we found out that the customers cannot come to our places to avail their services. So in this era of a high touch, we created a high touch experience in a no touch world. And by that, we had put in chatbot, WhatsApp bot, and now trying to go towards voice bot. These are all AI ML enabled, so that we understand the latent needs of the customer and the consumer, and we give them the service which is needed. Going forward, data analytics using AI ML to understand and predict what is happening in our system, whether there are any low voltage areas, what is the health of my transformer, etc. And finally, we have a very good team and dedicated workforce. We have got the Great Place to Work award many a times, but we are automating. We are trying to automate our business processes and workforce by robotic process automation, and we are also trying out blockchain for peer-to-peer trading in a decentralized world. Now, going forward, we all know that cybersecurity has become very important and very relevant. So we are doing a cybersecurity audit and ensuring that all these backbone IT structures are protected. Now, as we say, the entire world goes towards net zero, and tries to veer on that. Let me tell you, this opens up a major opportunity for trillions of dollars of investments in electrification of all the applications, battery control software, efficient building systems for residential and commercial and industrial automation, and power grid, and so on and so forth with hydrogen, etc. So more and more, the future will become electric, and we all will become more relevant. In terms of ensuring that our city remains clean and we protect our planet and the people and our future generation, we have adopted sustainability as our core value. And in doing that, we are trying to prime the ecosystem of electric mobility by creating electrical vehicle infrastructure and also converting our captive fleet to electric vehicles. Similarly, we also want the community to go for a clean, safe, and affordable means of cooking and use electric. And these are much better and improves the environment. In terms of decentralization, we are trying out microgrids and battery storages so that we are ready for the future and we don't miss out like we were the first in 120 years. For the next few centuries also, we want to remain the best utility and the global utility in the world. Finally, in disaster management, we all know that we have seen Amphan, which had happened. It was one of the most terrible hurricanes which happened in maybe 150 years. And we had created a world record in serving power back to the consumers within 7 days. Obviously, there again, the ring main structures, the dedicated team force, the SCADA, the control rooms, everything helped us. We faced IAS within a year. So as the climatic disasters around the world is becoming more and more relevant, we are also building our network resilience higher and higher by creating our network a little more stronger and more sturdier. And we are conducting studies through various premier institutions like IIT to see that how we can forecast better and how we can create a better resilience infrastructure. So in spite of frequency of storms or climate disaster, we remain good. Finally, I would like to say that we are an organization. We may have very ordinary people. We may be very ordinary people, but let me tell you from the core of my heart that we do an extraordinary job in serving the humanity, and we are very much indebted to all of you for being with us all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful address. Sir, you have highlighted the struggles of CESC, the journey of CESC, and its efforts of staying relevant and bringing innovations in our life. Thank you. Now, may I request Mr. Deepak Mathur, IEEE Region 10 Director, to please address the gathering, sir. Mr. Mathur is the former Chief General Manager of ONGC and has also served in many leadership roles in IEEE at Section, Council, Region, and member geographic activities. He was IEEE India Council Chair in 2015-16. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita, for introducing me. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests present here and distinguished guests who are attending online. I see Professor Toshio Fukda is online and he's attending this. So hello, Toshio Fukda. He is our past president. He is our past Region 10 Director. All senior executives of CESC, my fellow IEEE colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure and honor to be present here in this wonderful historic moment. And I really thank Kolkata Section and CESC for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. IEEE Milestone is a remarkable collaboration between two great organizations, particularly this milestone. And I see that how IEEE and how CESC, they have collaborated and made this happen. And I would like to congratulate each one of you who are involved in this process and making this happen. So congratulations to CESC and congratulations to IEEE both. So much has been told about the history of CESC by our previous speakers, even by the film. And there's no doubt that how CESC has come into being and how CESC has really serving mankind over 100 years. To be exact, 124 years. But I see a remarkable coincidence between CESC and IEEE. It was way back in 1879 when electricity came to Kolkata, and 1899 when CESC was formed or commissioned, the power station was commissioned. And at the same time, in 1884, our innovators and visionary like Thomas Alva Edison and Graham Alexander Bell, they were thinking about forming this IEEE. And if I go back to 1884, when American Institute of Electrical Engineers were formed, that was 1884, and 1899 and 1907 was when electricity came to the Calcutta and CESC came into the being. So there is a remarkable coincidence among these two organizations. And those who are not aware about the IEEE is the world's largest technical and professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the humanity. Members form IEEE, and IEEE helps members for their professional excellence. And this is a wonderful relationship between member and IEEE. IEEE is member-centric, volunteer-driven or volunteer-led, and staff-supported organization. And in this particular milestone, you can see that how volunteers and staff, they have worked together for this common goal. So IEEE has 400,000 plus members in more than 160 countries. It has got 39 technical societies, 1,200 plus technical standards, and there are many more with IEEE, and there is exhaustive information on IEEE.org. Those who have interest in the field of IEEE, they should go and they should refer to that. So IEEE membership today is not only of electronics and electrical engineers. So members are from software. Our members are software developers. They are from IT professionals, even medical doctors, cybersecurity experts, and many come from the cyber law. And for that reason, IEEE is no longer known as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers now, except in its business and legal documents. IEEE is simply known as IEEE. So this is how IEEE has changed over the years. We can see that it has adopted whatever is coming in its way. So let us come to this wonderful program of Milestone. I think by now you might be knowing that 224 milestones are there in IEEE, and 43 comes to Region 10. Region 10 is one of the region of IEEE. IEEE has got total 10 regions. Region 1 to 6 are in USA. Region 7 is Canada. Region 8 is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And Region 9 is South America. And Region 10 is Asia Pacific region, which is one of the largest regions. And I'm happy to say that out of this 10 region, the share of milestone is to Region 10 is 20%. So that is remarkable. And if we go to the analysis of this particular milestone in Region 10, the mostly is going to the Japan. So Japan is having 39 milestones to its credit, and next comes to India, and we are having 4, but we have a lot of potential. And probably Kolkata is leading as far as the milestone is concerned in this country. But I'm sure Kolkata will show way to other sections that how milestones are identified and converted into the milestone. So I'm sure our India Council and our other sections will take lessons from Kolkata section, and we will come out with more milestones in India. So my sincere thanks to IEEE Region 10 colleague, Sanjay Kar Chaudhary, who is who is Region 10 Industry Committee Chair, for taking initiative along with other members of Kolkata section as well as CESC. He's having both the hat, and I really appreciate his effort. I was talking to him, then he told me how much effort was required from both, from CSC side and from IEEE side. And he mentioned that many members from, many executives from CSC and many members from IEEE Kolkata section, they came together and they worked for this milestone, namely Mr. Devdatta Maitra and Mr. Sanjay Mukherjee. They contributed along with other members, and the contribution of our Kolkata section past chair, Sujit Biswas, was immense. I was talking to Mr. Ravi Chaudhary today. He told that how he was instrumental in bringing important information for making this milestone happen. And I also acknowledge my friend Shivaji Chakravarti and Kolkata section chair Sushmita Mitra for getting other milestones to the kitty of Kolkata section. So thank you very much, and I wish that both the organization flourish and they work for the benefit of humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur, for the wonderful address. It is always a delight to hear you speak, sir. Sir has highlighted the similarities between IEEE and CESC. He has also given us an interesting task, a task to identify potential milestones. Now we have Professor Janina Mazureska, Chair IEEE History Committee, live from Sydney, Australia. Professor Mazureska was the first woman to serve in the role of Director of Region 10 of the IEEE, its subdivision for the Asia and the Pacific. She has also helped found sections of the IEEE in Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, and China. She is also a recipient of the IEEE Third Millennium Medal and the Order of Merit of the Republic of Poland for her service to the Australian Polish community. Over to Professor Janina Mazureska, who is live from Sydney, Australia.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. I'm in fact not in Sydney, but in Brisbane, the capital of Queensland, but it doesn't matter. It's the same country, only time difference by 1 hour. It is a great privilege for me to participate in this very special event, the IEEE Milestone Dedication Ceremony of the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation 1899 in Calcutta, as the IEEE History Committee Chair. Let me say a few words about the History Committee, because so much has been said already about the IEEE in general and about the CECS. The purpose of the History Committee is responsibility for promoting the collection, writing, and dissemination of historical information in all fields covered by IEEE technical and professional activities. Also, about historical information related to IEEE and its two predecessor organizations. The committee provides assistance to all major IEEE boards, work with external institutions, and provides information and recommendation to the board of directors when appropriate. Next slide, please. As far as IEEE milestones are concerned, it is one of our major programs. And IEEE milestones are the IEEE highest awards for extraordinary achievements benefiting the society. So if you look at this slide, you can see the process which is taken by the committee when we receive nominations for technical achievements to be considered for the IEEE milestones. The process is very thorough and in-depth, and if successful, we recommend such a proposal for approval to the IEEE Board of Directors. A bronze plaque commemorating the achievement is placed at an appropriate site with accompanying dedication ceremony. We have just had a beautiful ceremony with the unveiling the bronze plaque devoted to this particular milestone, which is, as it was said already a few times, third in Calcutta and fourth in India. Next slide, please. A bit more about IEEE milestone statistics. Cathy Land, our president, was talking when the program was established in 1983 in conjunction with the centennial celebration. So far, 243 milestones were approved by IEEE, with 20 awaiting dedications. There were some delays due to with the dedications due to COVID, but now we have a beautiful either virtual or mixed on-site and virtual dedication ceremony, and they, I think, will stay because they enable to propagate information all around the world. In Region 10, 42 milestones were already dedicated, 38 of them in Japan, 3 in India, and 1 in Australia. So yes, there is a lot of potential in India. And in fact, in March this year, I had the pleasure of being invited by Region 10 Director Deepak Mathur to present at the annual meeting. And I presented potential in many countries, and India was, of course, on the first place. I think we have a chance to be a region with the biggest number of milestones in a process of next 5 years. Major milestones include, for instance, the birthplace of Silicon Valley, CERN electronic particle detection, invention of the first transistor at Bell Labs, a gravitational wave antenna, recently dedicated with over 1,000 people participating in the dedication over the TV, and development of CDMA for cellular communication. Next slide, please. The milestones in India so far were first millimeter wave communication experiment by J.C. Bose, 1994-96, Raman effect, 1928, both dedicated in Kolkata in September 2012. And this year we had a giant meter wave radio telescope, 1994, dedication in Pune in March, and this time we have number 4, a fantastic, the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, becoming the 4th milestone in India. Next slide, please. So the History Committee considered this proposal very thoroughly and recommended it to the Board of Directors, and as you all know, it has been approved. And the citation was already read by Toshio Fukuda, so I wouldn't be reading. And I put a picture of the Victoria House, which I remember from my visit to Calcutta as the Region 10 Director in 2008, and have very good memories from my stay in Calcutta. Next slide, please. So let me finish my short presentation with very sincere congratulations to the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited for leading India into the 21st century since 1897 through providing electricity to people of Kolkata and Bengal for over 122 years. As we know, no civilization in the 21st century can exist without electricity. So this is really a very, very well deserving milestone. Also, my congratulations go to the IEEE volunteers of Kolkata Section and to India Council volunteers who participated in the preparation of the nomination and the dedication ceremony, as well as to this milestone nominator, Harish Mysore, and its advocate, a member of the IEEE Historic Committee, Ranjit Nair. It was a pleasure to participate, and I wish all the best to everyone. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mazareska, for the captivating address. Madam has highlighted the purpose of the History Committee, the process of that a proposal goes through to earn the IEEE Milestone plaque. And now we have the last speaker of the day, Professor Shoifur Rahman, IEEE President-elect 2022. Sir will be live from Dhaka. Professor Shoifur Rahman is the first president of Power Engineering Society and also a faculty of Virginia Tech. He is also a reviewer of the proposal of this milestone plaque. Professor Rahman is the founding director of the Advanced Research Institute at Virginia Tech and has served as the chair of the U.S. National Science Foundation Advisory Committee for International Science and Engineering. He is the founder of BEM Controls LLC, a software company which provides building energy efficiency solutions. Over to Professor Shoifur Rahman, who will be joining us live from Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, everyone. My greetings to all honorable guests and CESC management assembled here for this CESC milestone ceremony. Thank you for inviting me to participate today in this very special IEEE milestone dedication ceremony to recognize the impact of the commissioning the first thermal power plant of the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited on 17th of April, 1899, heralding the beginning of thermal power generation in India. IEEE's roots as well go back to the time when electricity and telegraphy first began to have a major influence in society with the 1884 founding of the American Institute of Electrical Engineers. Within 30 years, another technical revolution appeared with the birth of radio and vacuum electronics. In 1912, the Institute of Radio Engineers was founded. On the 1st of January 1963, the AIEE and IRE came together and merged to form the current IEEE. As the largest technical association in the world, it is an important part of IEEE's mission to preserve the legacy and heritage of our professions, to recognize great achievements, and to promote the importance and impact of engineering. IEEE reflects nearly 140 years of being at the forefront of the technical revolutions in energy, communications, and computing. The underlying disciplines in hardware and software that have supported these technological advances and the many fields of application in industrial activities, consumer products, transportation, medicine, and many other domains that have shaped our modern standard of living. I am a frequent visitor to Kolkata many times and met many of the CESC engineers at IEEE section events. I know many of the engineers and guests here. I knew that CESC is the oldest power company in India and was registered as a crown corporation in London only a few years after the power company in London began commercial operation. While I was the president of IEEE Power and Energy Society, I started discussions with the global IEEE office in Bangalore to engage CESC in a discussion for the IEEE milestone recognition. With the active participation from CESC, a portfolio was developed for this recognition. It was my privilege to be asked to participate and to add my comments on the milestone proposal's accuracy and completeness. Mr. Harish Mysore of the IEEE office in Bangalore, Professor Anjan Bose, originated from Kolkata, and many others are to be noted for their help in this process. I have greatly enjoyed participating in the preparation of this milestone. In these milestone dedication ceremonies, we get to observe and preserve how these significant events have shaped the trajectory of technology, our communities, and institutions. I get to witness history, how it impacts technology, and also how local communities, local institutions, and populations appreciate IEEE for recognizing and preserving the memory of these accomplishments. Today, it is my distinct privilege to join my colleagues across India in recognizing the contributions of the Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, and I congratulate everyone involved in this conception, design, and operation. Now, our friends, CESC engineers, can go back to the archives and see how their predecessors managed simultaneous DC-AC operation in Kolkata more than 100 years ago. It can provide a lesson for many cities around the world now who are preparing to provide DC electricity to their consumers on top of their AC service. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Professor Rahman, for the encouraging words. So you have really given us a task to look how DC and AC supply can be given simultaneously. A century-old solution can be a solution for the present-day problem. And now I will request Mr. Deepak Mathur to say something to the gathering, sir.
Thank you, Professor Saifur Rahman, joining us online, and thank you, Janina, for supporting our milestone as a chair of History Committee. I was talking about IEEE member-centric, volunteer-led, and staff-supported organization. So this is a perfect example, and I would like to especially recognize the staff. Our India office at Bangalore, led by Harish Mysore and Munir Mohammed, who has come here, and others who are at the back supporting this venture. So this is a perfect example how volunteers and staff are working together for making IEEE better. So thank you, Harish, and thank you, Munir, and thank you everyone for this milestone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur, for acknowledging the contributions of Mr. Harish and Mr. Munir. They have really worked hard for this IEEE milestone plaque. And now we have the memento presentation. May I now request Mr. Robi Chaudhuri to present a memento to our dignitary, Mr. Suresh Kumar. Mr. S. Suresh Kumar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Power, Government of West Bengal. As a token of our love and appreciation, thank you, Mr. Chaudhuri, for presenting the memento. And now may I request Mr. Debashish Banerjee to present a memento to Mr. Deepak Mathur, please. Mr. Deepak Mathur is the IEEE Region 10 Director. Thank you, Mr. Mathur. Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. May I now request Mr. Gautam Rai to present a memento to Professor Shushmita Mitro, please. Thank you, Professor Mitra. Thank you, Mr. Rai. May I now request Mr. Ashim Kumar Rai, General Manager CESC Limited, to present a memento to Mr. Robi Chaudhuri, please. Thank you, Mr. Chaudhuri. Thank you, Mr. Rai. May I now request Mr. Obijoy Sharkar, General Manager, CESC Limited, to present a memento to Mr. Debashish Banerjee, please. Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. Thank you, Mr. Sharkar. May I now request Mr. Arijit Kumar Boshu, General Manager, CESC Limited, to present a memento to Mr. Gautam Rai, please. Thank you, Mr. Rai. Thank you, Mr. Boshu. May I now request Mr. Anirban Raha, General Manager, CESC Limited, to please present a memento to Dr. Gargi Chatterjee, please. Thank you, Dr. Chatterjee. Thank you, Mr. Raha. May I now request Dr. Gargi Chatterjee, Executive Director, Regulatory Affairs, CESC Limited, to please propose the vote of thanks, ma'am.
Good afternoon, eminent dignitaries on the podium and who have joined us virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and namaskar. I am deeply honored to have the very pleasant opportunity of delivering the vote of thanks today on behalf of CESC Limited. By the Indian tradition of Atithi Devo Bhava, I would first like to thank all who have joined us in celebrating the day virtually or physically. Thank you all for taking time off from your busy schedules to share this momentous occasion for us with us. I would especially like to thank for inspiring us by their addresses, their gracious presence, and their support. I would first like to thank Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, respected chairman of the RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, for his constant encouragement to scale new heights. Mr. S. Suresh Kumar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary Power, Government of West Bengal, for his kind presence. Thank you, sir. We would most respectfully and humbly thank IEEE for accepting CESC's achievement of first commercial electricity supply in South Asia as an IEEE milestone. And we extend our heartfelt thanks to Ms. Kathy S. Land, President and CEO of IEEE, Professor Toshio Fukuda, immediate past president of IEEE, Professor Saifur Rahman, IEEE President-elect 2022, and one of the reviewers, Mr. Deepak Mathur, Region 10 Director. Thank you, sir. Professor Shushmita Mitra, Chair, IEEE Kolkata Section. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Steve Welby, Executive Director and COO, IEEE. Ms. Janina Maziarska, Chair, IEEE History Committee. Professor Anjan Bose of Washington State University, who was one of the reviewers. IEEE India's Mr. Harish Mysore and team. We would also like to thank IEEE's Board of Directors, IEEE Region 10 Executive Committee, IEEE History Committee, and IEEE Kolkata Section, as also the volunteers. I would also thank our own senior officers for their eloquent addresses. Mr. Robi Chaudhary, Managing Director, Generation Limited, Mr. Active Distribution of CESC Limited, Mr. Gautam Ray, Executive Director, HR and Admin of CESC Limited. I again thank the dignitaries from various organizations and utilities for gracing this occasion. I thank Dr. Ankita Pramanik for her excellent comparing, and my grateful thanks go to Kolkata Police and media for their support. I thank the entire organizing team for the event for organizing this well-executed dedication ceremony. And last, but as they say, not the least, by no means the least, I thank all citizens of Kolkata for placing their faith and trust on us for over 120 years. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Chatterjee. So with this, we come to an end to today's program. So thank you all the dignitaries, guests, delegates who had joined us online and offline. Thank you. And for our offline guests, lunch is served outside. So we come to a close to this program. Thank you and namaskar.
Toshio.
Yeah, nice. Saifan-san, nice to see you.
Nice seeing you. Take care. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good job.